With Joe Biden currently leading in so many polls, will the coronavirus pandemic cost President Trump his re-election bid? That's the question we asked all of you informed American readers, and I thank you all, first of all, for all of your responses that came in. We've got a great reply from all of you, so I'm going to highlight some of those. Now, I noticed... I've noticed when we asked this question, one of the things that came back and a couple of comments, even the ones right here on Facebook, or sort of maybe disagreed with the opening premise of that question, which is that Joe Biden is leading in many polls. Look, I get it. I was here in 2016. I remember the polls, and we all know the result. But just bear with me here. We're going by the Real Clear Politics average, and I just wanted to clear things up. What are we talking about when we say Biden's leading? All right, Real Clear Politics average nationally. Joe Biden is up 4.4%. And then let's move to the battleground states. Wisconsin up 2.7%. Florida 3.2%. Michigan 5.5%. Pennsylvania, Biden up 6.5%. Arizona up 4.4%. And of all those battleground states, only in North Carolina does President Trump lead in the Real Clear Politics average by 0.3%. So, we're not saying that's the final result. We're saying this is the state of the race now. It's something to keep in mind, too, with that national number about the inaccuracies of the polls in 2016, and they certainly were. But a poll that was, say, Hillary Clinton plus 3 or 4 nationally and Trump winning is actually just fine. That's sort of how it works. Of course, you all know about the Electoral College. It really matters who wins each state. Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden in this example can run up California, can run up New York, can run up Illinois, and it doesn't make a lick of difference. It's all about those electoral votes. So it's sort of like, where does the national lead become a tipping point into battleground? Maybe it's 5%, 6% if it actually came to that. So that's where we're at now. That's what the polls are saying now. And if this holds, this does look like a Biden win. And I wouldn't say that. And really what we're going at with this question is this is not where we were, say, 2 months ago, before all of this stuff hit. And so we asked you, with this, there's no question that Trump has suffered a little bit here as things have dragged on. So could it cost him his reelection? And it seems to be. It's not Russia. It's not the Russia collusion thing, which is completely falling apart. Is it going to take a global pandemic to stop this, to stop President Trump from getting reelected? So, with all of that said, and I will give my take as I go over all your answers. Let's get to your comments first. Again, this is all about you guys. I've got this live chat open, so if you want to respond to something I'm saying, telling me how wrong I am, or right, if you want to make a comment on someone else's comment, just go ahead. I'll be watching that, and I'll be willing to, and we can discuss that as well. There's one, and as I was hinting at here at Facebook here, we got from Doreen Ahern. It says, this has to be a joke. Biden will never win the 2020 presidential election. They better find another candidate fast. And KM Gray Jack says, no, Trump 2020 landslide, MAGA. God bless America. All right, so let's go here. Let's go to all of your other responses. Terry T says, President Trump could have shined in those COVID briefings, but he lost several of my Republican friends. They said they couldn't take it anymore and won't listen to him talking about himself, contradicting doctors, speaking out on both sides of his mouth, etc. I know Republican USPS employees and retirees who will gain Biden's votes. They're tired of the Postal Service being politicized by Trump, by him tweeting, downgrading others, and also losing voters. Similar to Hillary's deplorables comment. If he keeps kicking good people when they're down, he will lose their votes. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the Trump briefings? Should he stay out of it? Should he insert himself in there and maybe give his own take? Seems like he's kind of gone back a little bit and left that to his press secretary. So curious if he's doing a change in tact. What did you guys think of President Trump and his briefings? And we know, I'll say this, Terry. Trump's going to step on people and he's going to hit people, whether they deserve it or not. And usually he waits till he's attacked first, but certainly nothing new here for voters. They know the president will go hard at people. Shelby G says, no to Sleepy Joe, and I like how nobody polled me. Trump 2020. I'm curious, have any of you guys ever been reached out by a polling institution, Monmouth, NBC News, any of these outfits? I've never been contacted by one of them, and it's curious how this all works. They do the landline thing, and I guess they're trying to reach by cell phone, and it's really hard. Most people don't want to be bothered, right? Or even if you just happen to be the one that they call. Curious to know if any of you have actually participated in one of these things. Was it a painful experience? We got a reply here from Bernice E. No, I believe Joe Biden has Alzheimer's. If you're offering a very sick man to be the president of the United States, what do you guys think? Do you think Joe Biden has Alzheimer's? It certainly appears that he's not all there. He's the Biden of 2008 in 2016 doesn't seem like the same guy. He looks like a bit of a shell of his own self. And so I guess Bernice here is saying that voters will recognize that Biden is maybe not all there, and this is not a threat to President Trump. Michael L. says, who would I rather have at the wheel guiding our country? That really should be a no-brainer, people. Trump is the man I trust to do the job. Why the hell would I want an airhead? Why the hell would I want an airhead like Biden leading our country? He would lead us totally to destruction. As for the Democrat Party and the rhinos, who are, of course, the Republicans in name only, and the Republican Party is the reason why our country has lost its way since the Reagan administration ended. Ronald Reagan had class. He was a good leader. President Trump walked into a total mess with the Washington corruption that's been going on for a long time because he promised to drain the swamp. Hopefully he can get another 4 years to hopefully finish what he started. It's been a very uphill battle, but the man is no quitter, and if he can't finish the job, at least those out there know that he tried his best. But remember, he didn't have much help from the Washington insiders, and we also know if, God forbid, Biden does win, he won't be calling the shots. The party will, and if he doesn't know where he is half the time and gets confused between who his wife is and who his sister is, we know damn well what the Dems are up to. They don't care who gets in the house as long as it's one of theirs. Well, thank you, Michael, for that great comment. It is interesting, right? I mean, let's just suppose for a second that we've heard, I think, 2 or 3 times that Biden's not all there, and I think I'm even guilty of this. I believe I've been calling him brain dead Biden a couple of times. Let's follow with that. It's not just being partisan, and it is true, and the guy is really not himself. And look, we know the Democrat machine, and certainly the media is behind Biden. So there is that chance. I mean, many of you guys are skeptical that Trump will lose, but let's just say that happens and Biden gets in. I mean, are we looking at basically like a puppet presidency? I mean, are they just going to be like wheeling grandpa around or something, and everyone else behind the scenes is going to be making decisions? I think that's pretty scary. I mean, even if you don't like Trump, at least you know the guy is kind of calling the shots, even if you disagree with what he says. So that's an interesting one. I wonder what you guys think about that. Greg W. says Joe is a crook, as is his son, and I wouldn't trust them any farther than I could throw a chimney by its smoke, which is, I've never heard that one before, but certainly not very far. We heard a lot about Hunter Biden over the last couple of months, but that has gone completely silent. I wonder if we'll see that, because everything's been certainly dominated by COVID and all that, and the pandemic. But I'd be curious if we start hearing more about Hunter Biden, his dealings with Ukraine. Remember Ukraine? By the way, that wasn't that long ago. We were just in impeachment, and then this whole thing about Hunter Biden getting that, what is it, like $1.5 billion from the Chinese for some investment firm, certainly looks weird. That's gone away, and I really do wonder, as here we are in May, as we get to August, September, October, if there's some bombshells out there, more stuff. All right, let's move on here. We've got a reply from Jan S. No, I don't think COVID will cost the re-election. It's a time to step back for reconstruction, giving it back to governors and local governments. I think the constant argumentative of tweets will. So I think here he's saying that if Trump keeps being kind of a jerk on Twitter, this could cost him. And he continues, it was funny last time. It's just annoying this time, and that's why I don't have a Twitter account. Discuss the future as a team. Trump used to talk about how great others were and how well others did. Now it's all about him, Trump himself. So step back. So Trump, if you're listening, step back, talk less, listen more. He won with business acumen and his lovely family. Step back on the escalator with Melania, of course, referring to Trump's announcement speech, coming down that escalator with Melania. So it seems like, Jan, you're saying, no, you don't think it's going to happen, but you're seeing it as a more likely possibility that Trump could lose, and he's kind of losing you a little bit unless he gets back to the guy that we saw in 2016 and throughout his campaign. Oh, we got another reply here, excuse me, from James M. No, I believe Oh, I'm sorry. It's from what I hear and see. This is from Brian. Sorry, I already read the James comment, I believe. Brian says, from what I see and hear in the news, sleepy, creepy Joe Biden does not look like a viable candidate for the presidency. I've seen him in pictures, the news, but they can deliberately capture him when he looks his worst. All I can remember is that ISIS formed when Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were in power, and they did nothing to stop them, and they will greatly influence his political decisions in the future. Not as much to lead the way for him. Do we want the same corrupt, politically correct, milquetoast politicians back in power? Interesting question here about sleepy, creepy Joe Biden. What do you guys... Have you guys been? What do you think about the Tara Reade stuff? Do you believe it? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's just someone just trying to take him down? But look, I will tell you this. You go into Google. You could do this right now. Go into Google, Google Images, search Joe Biden sniffing hair. As weird as it sounds, you will be surprised with how many results come up. It's a really weird thing. He's got this strange thing with sniffing and touching and just being really handsy with people. And I mean, I don't know. That's been out there for a while. It doesn't seem to have affected him lately, but it is kind of a weird thing. All right, we got a reply here from Barrett. Gentlemen, to answer your question, I don't think this pandemic will cost Trump his job. There are too many people, both politicians and media types, pointing the fingers at him to be believable. I also believe that Trump campaign already has answers to the pointed questions. So Barrett's not buying it. In fact, I don't think any of you are buying this. I think you are at this point. You would say that Trump is going to get his reelection, and Biden is not a good candidate. The only thing I will say, this is the Democrat machine. This is the mainstream media. A lot of people don't like Trump. He's got a lot of people that really don't want to see him reelected, and it's going to be, I guess, maybe it'll come down to the independents, as they always say, or maybe it's going to be enthusiasm. It doesn't seem like Democrats are all that enthusiastic about Joe Biden. In fact, there was a recent Rasmussen poll that said just 54% of Democrats like Biden as the nominee. And we also got a reply suggesting, I think this was in here somewhere, that doesn't even think Biden will be the nominee. There's been suggestions that it might come down to Cuomo, something like that, but I don't buy it. I think as people see more of Cuomo, they're not as impressed with him, and particularly some of the way he's been managing coronavirus. At first, he got all this praise, and now it's like, well, what are you doing, man? It's essentially the epicenter of the pandemic, and this whole thing with ordering nursing homes to take in discharged people who had coronavirus out of hospitals, forcing the nursing homes to take them. And now 5,000 dead in New York in nursing homes. Crazy. Got a reply here from Andy Anderson here in the chat box. Scary times. Total horror story if Dems win the presidency. Might as well have a revolution to get our country back. And continuing this. Never thought I'd see such scary time with socialists gaining support. Pray everyone gets out and votes this time around. And in all caps, landslide for Trump. God bless America. Another one here from Andy. Watch out for the fix. Yeah, the fix. So what do you mean by the fix, Andy? You talking about mail-in ballots or a trunk full of ballots that appear at the last second? I always see this in my home state of Florida. Every election, every statewide election, it seems like, all of the state gets called, except for maybe somewhere in Southeast, Broward, Miami-Dade, always late reporting, always holding out, and the ballots just seem to appear out of nowhere. Is that what you're talking about? And then here we get more from we got from Sean Briscoe. By the way, thank you, Andy Anderson, for commenting, and thank you, Sean, ahead of me reading your comment. He says, Sean Briscoe says, I moved from London to Northamptonshire, did I say that right, on my 30th birthday, and I've been set up to be ritually tortured to death by Mason occultists working in the NHS, Northamptonshire, as his modern day Nazis. John Hart of 20. I'm not sure I'm following you here. What happened here? Send me all right. Well, this is a really really long comment. Sounds like you're having a health issue, Sean. This one was too long for me to read the whole thing, but it sounds like you had a problem here with the NHS. I wish you the best, Sean. And I do apologize. I will read this one after, but it's too long for me to read on air. Well, with that, guys, I want to thank you for all of your comments. I want you to keep an eye on all the news that's going on, of course, on InformedAmerican.com and on this Facebook page. Thank you so much. I will catch you. Just keep an eye out for next video. Of course, we'll always post a scheduled post there for you, so you know when to tune in. Thanks, y'all, for watching, and we'll catch you next time.